On the docket tonight, the Ice Cream Man murder trial. This was a case that you saw here on Court TV, ended in a hung jury, and now Michael Keetley will be retried. So let's take a look back at what happened first time around when the jury could not unanimously agree.
The defendant, Michael Keetley, comes over to the Lucas home posing as a law enforcement officer with a loaded .45 caliber gun. He is looking for somebody named Creeper. 11 months before these horrific crimes, the defendant tragically was a victim himself. He was robbed and shot at gunpoint. But the motive for this case simply is revenge. He immediately starts shooting them. Juan and Sergio Guitron, brothers, both of them died that night.
Michael Keetley is not guilty. This is a case of misidentification, unreliable eyewitness testimony, and circumstantial evidence.
Did you have a nickname back in 2010?
Yeah.
What was your nickname?
Creep.
You never heard about a guy by the name of Creep? No. Never? Okay. So you never asked anybody about a guy by the name of Creep? No. Okay.
We waited to see what he was gonna say. He asked, who's Creeper? And we're like, none of us.
I just seen him coming at us, and then when I turned around, it felt like I got shot as soon as I turned around.
We were all in the line like that, so we started shooting from this way, that way, to right, to left.
He looked at me and he pumped it again, and he shot me in my chest.
My legs and my arm.
Do you know what caused those?
Yes.
What?
45. I mean,
Were you shot in the head?
yeah.
Whose face did you recognize?
The guy that shot me.
What did you do when you saw that?
I started to cry.
Because why?
Anger. It's because of Sergio and Juan.
Juan goes over and shows the photograph, the single photograph on the phone, and this is already when Jose's already heard since the night before. Mike the Ice Cream Man, he was the shooter. Juan goes over and shows it, and all of a sudden, Jose goes, that's him.
He searched for the term Creeper 185 times. Ocean Mist. He searched for that term 92 times. Law enforcement found a composition book in his house. You'll hear that the detectives went through that composition book, and on one of those pages was written Bayan, Omar's last name, the person who has the nickname Creeper, and an address, 507 Ocean Mist.
This is Michael Keetley's parents' house. He was so injured that once he came out of the hospital in February of 2010, he was never able to live alone again. His mother would have to help him wipe himself after he used the restroom. But he's on a porch shooting 6 young men.
He wasn't really able to use his right hand. He was mostly using his left hand.
On a scale of physically possible to physically impossible, what is the likelihood that his right hand fingers and thumb could independently open without the use of his left hand on November 25?
Impossible.
Raise your right hand, please. You swear affirm any testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yeah. Consider everything in its entirety. Consider what is reasonable in your life experience and your judgment. And I suggest to you that if you proceed with your analysis in that fashion, you will return verdicts of guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
Your Honor, Mr. Keetley is going to waive closing argument.
Upon further deliberation and discussion, the jury has not reached a unanimous verdict, period. The jury is hung, period. This is not going to change, period. And then again, it is signed and dated by the foreperson of the jury. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I am declaring a mistrial in the case.
Mistrial. Now, there's some updates I have for you. First, at trial, it was a big issue, his injuries. These were the injuries that he suffered when he was attacked in his ice cream truck. And it was part of like the motivation, according to prosecutors, as to why he was looking for the creeper and why he went after these guys thinking that they were the creeper, or they knew the creeper, or they were associated with the creeper, which they weren't. But did you see when it was time for him to be sworn in, he kind of put his hand up like this? It was the right arm. Little update for you. He's been incarcerated, right? He's been in jail. And it's actually like 11 years now he's been in jail and still hasn't had a final verdict in his case. Got in trouble for fighting. Got in trouble for assault. So I'm wondering if maybe exaggerating a little bit in the courtroom about that injury. I wasn't there. I don't know. But I'm wondering if that is something that may or could be used against him at his next trial. The fact that he's not so injured that he wasn't able to assault someone, allegedly. Let's bring back in our think tank. I'm going to bounce that off him right away. Leslie Ricard Chambers, your thoughts. He's getting in trouble in jail. He's got some more charges for an assault. So do you think that if there is video of this or evidence of it and he's able to use that right arm, that it's maybe fair for prosecutors to use that at his next murder trial?
I mean, maybe if somehow the prison has surveillance set up to where they can see very visibly where he's actively able to use his hands and his fists to commit an assault and sort of show himself as an aggressor. And that's a really complicated issue when you're, talking about.
It's complicated. That's why you three have to figure it out right now.
Well, I mean, listen, if from a defense attorney perspective, I'm thinking that, fights happen all the time in prisons. That's number one. Number two, we don't know if the prison report is going to show that he was being attacked or if he was the attacker. And so that's going to be sort of a red herring right there. And so I don't know how helpful the circumstances from
all right, let's presume this.
Prison are going to be.
Let's presume, Ian, that there is some video, and maybe he gets a right jab in there with that right hand that he in court sort of was unable to ever use. Yeah. Can that be used, Ian?
Sure, Ken. I mean, if there's a video, I'm sure that the prosecutors, investigators have gone and spoken to the other inmates and anyone who else may have seen it. But Leslie's right on this. Look, you get into a fight, you're attacked. I'll tell you what, every single time that someone is engaged in a fight, whether they are the aggressor or the defender in jail, they're all being disciplined. So just because he got into a fight means nothing to me. I want to see the evidence that backs it up. And until then, I'm sorry, the evidence still remains the same.
Yeah, Bernard, it was such a big part of the trial, the fact that he couldn't. It's impossible for him to even hold that gun, ladies and gentlemen. And that was the argument, and jurors believed that was a reasonable argument that was made. I'm wondering if prosecutors will have an opportunity maybe to rebut that a little bit next time around.
So first off, when we're talking about the second trial that's going to take place, it's going to be a completely different trial. We're not using the same jurors. It's going to be different jurors, and they're going to approach it differently. Number one, it's going to be a different defense attorney because the defense attorney from the first trial is now a sitting judge. So the defendant does not have that attorney to represent her. And let's just be real, Vinny. The reality about why they got a hung jury, a mistrial, was remember that the prosecutor wasn't able to give their closing argument because the defense decided to rest and waive their right to give a closing argument, which meant that they had to sit down and rest on the first couple of minutes that was given in the beginning. But in the end, Vinny, look, I represent the Correction Officers Union, so there is definitely videotape inside of those jails, and they are clear videotape where you can see the action take place. So that would definitely, I see that coming in. If I were the prosecutor, I will be arguing hard for that to come in. And if the judge were to say, that's not nice, Vinny, if the judge were to say that it's too prejudicial, then I will ask the judge, hold that. Let me see if the defense opens up the door. And if the defense decides to say, because of my ailment, that he could not have committed the crime, you have opened up that door. And guess who's coming in with a mag truck? The prosecutor.
All right, we shall see. Yeah. All right, folks, it's not happening this year, though. He's got more time. He's been in jail 11 years already. No retrial date has been set, but we've got a status conference on February 18th, 2022. So when that date happens, we'll probably get the next trial date. So, yeah, think about it, maybe next summer of 2022.